Howdy y'all and welcome back. LAPG Sliderail XWL. This is a product I had never even heard of before, so thank you Robert for sending this along. This belongs to him, so I will be returning it to him and I will not be drop testing it or doing anything funky with it, so I cannot speak to its durability or quality from that perspective. This is just a sort of initial impressions, what do I think of it? And I think before we even get into any of that, we need to have a brief discussion about the price of things and our expectations of them. So we poke fun at the Olight people as, it's just as good. And, for a lot of people, they are. And this probably is just good enough for most gun owners, like realistically. And if the choice is, do I have this on my home defense weapon or no light at all? Definitely, like 100%. Does every firearm owner need to go out and drop like 3 bills on a Surefire? No. That's why Streamlight makes the TLR1. Okay, jokes. But seriously, you need to be realistic about how many times are you making it to the range? How many classes are you actually getting to? Not the ones you plan to go to, but like actually go to. Are you running low light specific classes? Is the light going to be on your gun while you're shooting in competition? Like, think about the actual round count that you are really actually doing, not what you want to be doing, but what you're actually doing, and gauge from there. If you're going to have that light hanging on a gun that you're shooting twice a month in competition, pony up for the good stuff. Like, at least TLR1. Because that thing's getting beat on. Right? If the gun is going to sit in the safe by your bedside all year and maybe go to the range 2 or 3 times in a year, then something of this level or Olight is fine, probably, unless it catches on fire. But probably going to be just fine for you. Just please don't make the claim that it's just as good, because that's annoying. But seriously, just my quick initial impressions, and I haven't even done beam comparisons yet, but just, I got it hooked up, put it on my Glock 19, and just, hit the wall with it, and I was like, yeah, probably fine for like 95% of gun owners. So, what I'm going to do is, I got a couple of different lights to compare it to. So, it is broad daylight right now, but I'm going to close up my garage and try to get it dark in here as best I can. And then we will do some beam comparisons. All right, so first up, we've got the Surefire X300, and there's your beam. That garage door is 16 feet from where I'm holding the light. So I think that's a pretty good representation of a bedroom, living room, den, kind of whatever you got, hallway. Most of us aren't going to be shooting a beam much past that indoors. Now, outdoors, obviously, your mileage may vary depending on where you live, especially if you're somewhere remote and rural. But for indoor home defense use, I think this is a pretty accurate-ish representation. So that was the Surefire. Here is the Enforce Wild 2. So again, Surefire, Enforce, Surefire, Enforce. Both of those are 1,000 lumen advertised. Here is the 800 lumen LAPG. So again, here's Surefire. There's the LAPG. And here is the Enforce LAPG. Inforce LAPG. All right, so we got the little LAPG light mocked up on the Glock 19 here. And here's sort of a size comparison to the Surefire. And I thought, you know, that's sort of kind of close in the same vicinity. And so let's give it a try. And no. So this is my G code, which is very form-fitted for a Glock 19 X300 combo, and definitely a big bag of fail there. So I don't know if it's more closely the footprint of a TLR1. So it makes me wonder about holster compatibility. I don't have a TLR1 or any TLR1 compatible holsters to verify that. So it makes me wonder. But it would definitely work in my Safariland 6000 series because it locks in on the gun and has kind of quite a bit of extra space around the sides there. So that would work, but not going to work with very form-fitted holsters like that G-code. But you do get a basic size comparison right there. And let's just unscrew that a bit and take it off. And we'll go ahead and pop the cap there. And it does appear to have like an O-ring rubber. Yeah, there is an O-ring gasket all the way around the compartment, so it should stay fairly watertight. I wouldn't try submerging it or anything, but water resistant, and does come with the batteries, which is always nice because that's, you know, a couple of bucks or whatever. And overall just feels like good quality, you know, aluminum housing. And like I say, it's, you know, for 80 bucks, I think it would serve a whole lot of gun owners for their use. All right, so do I give it my stamp of approval? I can't do that. And for some perspective, that Inforce Wild 2 that I have on my M&P currently, I love that light. I actually prefer its beam over the Surefire. There's really only two full-sized handgun lights that I will recommend, and that's the X300 or the TLR1. That's it. And that is largely based on other people's experience, not my own. So any one person can have any one item and be like, oh, it's flawless. And that means nothing. We have to look at the sum total, the aggregate response from hundreds or thousands of gun owners and get their, you know, to develop a totality, a big picture idea of what any given product is actually worth. So, you know, again, is it good enough for you? It very likely is. And if you're on a super budget and you have no light on your home defense firearm at all, then yeah, probably not a bad idea. 80 bucks, you know, sure. You're getting into the game and you want to be running competitions and doing trainings and low light classes and then pay up. That's kind of where I, you know, so, but overall it does feel like a decent quality item, and it's just hard for me to say I'm not going to go by the reviews on the website. Take my word for it. Like I can't use that as actual data of any kind. So I don't know if Aaron Cowan has ever shaken one of these down. I may have to go check that out on YouTube myself and see if he's ever tested one, but I'm guessing probably not. But anyway, thanks again to Robert for sending it along. I think it'll probably suit you just fine. And until next time, be easy, y'all.